So, America has a debt problem, a big one, $37.5 trillion dollars as of now, and growing very rapidly. In fact, in the last 100 days, it has added more than $1 trillion into its debt. This is so much money that if you were to distribute it among each and every individual on this planet, each one would get about $4,600, which is also the same as my credit card bill. But that's not the point. Also, if you calculate the debt to GDP ratio, it is more than 120%, which is almost the same as it was during World War II. The difference is that America is not in a world war right now. So, how did the US pile up so much of debt? Let's start with the basics. People work hard and make money. The government then takes a portion of it and call it taxes. The government then uses this money to basically run the country and do things like healthcare, military, schools, roads, bridges, and build rockets that go to space, funding crazy research projects and much more. But just like me, the US has a problem of overspending, spending more money than it collects from taxes. So the government has to borrow money to cover those expenses. How do they borrow? Here is where treasury bonds come in. These are like government issued IOUs. You give money to the US now, and then they promise to pay back with interest. Who buy these IOUs? Well, basically everyone, because let's face it, the dollar is the reserve currency of the world. The USA has nukes and Taylor Swift. So everybody is assured and trusts the US in its ability to repay. American individuals, pension funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, banks, insurance companies all own US bonds. Then we have other countries. China alone owns about $1 trillion in US bonds, and Japan owns even more than that. Why? Because sometimes it is safer to park their money in US bonds rather than in their own banks. And then there is the weird part. A huge chunk, about 20% of the US debt, is actually owed to itself. Yeah, agencies like Social Security, Medicare, they buy treasuries. It's like lending money from your right pocket to your left pocket. So, yeah, the debt is spread across grandmas, Wall Street, China, Japan, pension funds, and even Uncle Sam himself, which is why no one panics yet. Because as long as people believe America will pay, they keep buying. And here's the kicker, because everyone keeps buying these bonds, the US just keeps overspending. And when it's time to pay the old debt, they just issue new bonds and pay off the old ones. Which is like paying your credit card bill with another credit card, which just sounds like me. And this has been going on for decades. Borrow, spend, issue new bonds, borrow again. But this debt is growing very fast and this can cause a lot of problems. First big problem, interest. The more debt you have, the more interest you have to pay. And America's debt bill has exploded. In fact, the US is now paying over $1 trillion a year just in interest, which is more than it spends on defense or Medicare or pretty much anything else. The more money goes to interest, the less is left to actually run the country, schools, healthcare, infrastructure. And eventually, all of the taxes collected and budget turns into just one giant debt repayment plan, like working a job only to pay off your student loans, whatever. The real nightmare scenario, what if people stop trusting the US debt? Right now, treasuries are the world's safest assets. Central banks, funds, even China buys them. But if investors think that the US can't control its spendings, they could demand higher interest rates or stop buying at all, which could crash the dollar, spike inflation, have insane budget cuts, and basically break the complete global financial system. Okay, I might have gone a bit dramatic there, but you get the point. There could be problems. And actually, the US has been in this position before during the World War II when the debt to GDP ratio was over 120% and maybe a little higher than that. But the US grew its way out of it. Booming economy, high productivity, rising population. Basically, they outpaced the debt with growth. The problem today is that the growth isn't that hot. The population is aging. Our productivity breakthrough is that ChatGPT can put sunglasses on a dog's photo. So, unlike World War II, US can't just grow out of it easily. So, what's the solution? Well, Trump and the US government have tried a lot of things, such as the Big Beautiful Bill, tariffs, Doge, and now even talking about things like revaluing the gold reserves and stablecoins. So, the US national debt is a problem, and actions are being taken to solve it. Will it be solved? Time will tell. But what you can do is subscribe and like this video so that I can pay off my debt with YouTube money. Thanks for watching.